Good evening, members of the Sports Star International board. Today, I wanted to discuss something that's been on the chopping block for a little while with this company, and that is the marketing through sports sponsorship. Now, this company already markets sports equipment all around the world. It sells equipment that is a very well-known brand to several different important agencies. Some of these being Mia Reese, I apologize, is the #1 tennis player in the world. She uses one of our rackets. It also is the Century brand of bat used by the Australian cricket team. And finally, we have the Bouncy basketball brand that we carry, who is used by the American Basketball Association. Um, Now, when we talked about sports sponsorships in the past, there was some roadblocks that came up for those, so I wanted to address those one at a time, just so the board can kind of see where we're coming from with this. So one of these roadblocks was that it's demeaning to the company and the products, and really that can't be further from the truth. When you use a sponsorship for your product, it actually gets your brand name well known and out there. It actually can help your product and actually boost sales by seeing how a famous sports star is actually using these products as their personal tool or their personal equipment in their whatever their respective sport is. We've seen sales like these boost for companies like Nike and Nike and Jordan, Air Jordans, and all those companies. We see that sports sponsorships continually increase these companies' sales, and they constantly update their slogans and their marketing to reflect this. So the other problem that came up was a credibility problem. So if an athlete is using these problems, are they just these products of ours? Are they using them for just because they're being paid for this. And I think this can actually be negated a little bit just because are based on our own company's history. We can see that our company has used, we have the tennis player, Mia Reese, who's been using this racket before she was even a sponsor. If she were to become a sponsor of this, we have the Australian cricket team who's already been using this. And we're already established in the market. So these basketball brands that are using our basketball, this is happening before we even turn to sponsorship. So our credibility is already there. So it's not going to be hurt if we bring in a sponsor just to boost sales. Another thing was the last roadblock that was discussed last time we had this meeting was the risk of an image problem if there was a scandal with the athlete. Now, to counteract that, I would like to bring up the most recent one to my mind would be the Nike Colin Kaepernick commercial. That commercial was plagued with scandals and definitely a lot of media attention because Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during most NFL games to stand against racial inequality. So when that commercial came out, a lot of people were burning their Nikes and saying they were going to boycott the brand. Now, what we saw in the numbers, was that Nike sales boosted after the Colin Kaepernick commercial by 31%. Its stocks rose by 7%, and since that commercial aired, it's made nearly $6 billion for that brand. So even with the scandal that was going on with that, if people believe that the company is taking a stance for something, you're always going to have a market that flocks to that. So I think that's something to definitely take into consideration when dealing with that. Now, you always want to make sure that you pick someone who's going to represent your brand in a positive light. And I think that's what the people who are already using our product will do for us. This is only going to be beneficial for our rackets, our sports equipment. We're already a well-known brand, but sports sponsorship will just take us to that next level, generate more sales, get us out to communities, and even help us make other business partnerships and connections that can grow our business even more. Honestly, I think it's very foolish to not do sports sponsorships. It's always nice to rely on your own principles, but a little bit of help can go a long way, and we see that all the time with sports sponsorships in the NFL, the MLB, and the NHL. All these brands use sports sponsorships. All these sport agencies. You can also see that in several other competing products. So, in conclusion, I think this is very important for our company to invest in this type of marketing, and it can only help us in the future and take us to the next level that we need to be at. Thank you all for your attention.